Hey, it's Layla from confidenceartist.com here with a funny little story that I want to share with you. So the other day I was hanging out with a friend of mine who's in a terrible, awful argument with her husband about some bullshit that he did and said, and how other people were going to infer all kinds of terrible things about her from whatever it was he said. And she was really worked up about it and totally convinced that because of what had happened, she's going to get burned at the stake, persecuted, run out of town on a rail, destroyed, utterly hated, and literally convinced that she's going to be violently attacked and burned. So, like the old saying goes, you can't con a con. So when I heard her saying this stuff and justifying her worked up anxiety and anger on this, justifying this anger based on this story, I immediately smelled a scam. So I said to her, "Is that true? Is it totally 100% true that you're going to be burned at the stake?" "Oh yeah," she said. "Yep, definitely. It's definitely going to happen. It's happened to me before." Happened to you before? How could it possibly be the case that it's happened to you before that you've been burned at the stake? "Okay, well, metaphorically." "Well, okay," I said. "Maybe that's been true in the past. But how can you be totally certain that it's 100% true right now, that definitely, without a doubt, the outcome of what just happened is going to be your violent death at the hands of an angry mob?" She said, "Well, I just know it. It's totally true." And I think we can all laugh and look at that and say, wow, that's pretty out of control. That's pretty silly. But the reason I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention is because I know for certain that I have run similar cons on myself. And I'm sure that you've got a few little cons operating in your mind that your ego is telling you, oh, you can't do this because this terrible thing will happen. People will be mad. You'll lose your spouse or your partner. You'll lose all your money. Everyone will think that you're stupid. And this is your brilliant, genius ego con artist's way of keeping you exactly where you are, safe, miserable, angry, upset, and not changing. These stories are very compelling, but they're really just not as true as we would like to imagine that they are. Unless we think that my friend is in any way unique, let's just remind ourselves that we all have an expert, tricky scammer running in our brains, telling us all kinds of things, making us believe all kinds of stories that sound really good, that awaken all kinds of sensation, fear, anxiety, dread in us, that are wildly entertaining and compelling. Our egos are excellent actors. They animate our entire personality. They make us who we are. But they're also not 100% truthful. And we can certainly dismantle, thwart some of those scamming cons of delusion and reprogram ourselves into much more fulfilling, much more exciting, equally truthy stories about ourselves that allow us to live much more fulfilling, exciting, rewarding lives. This is a major part of the work that I do with people, is listening compassionately to the stories that are happening and hearing about the scams that are being run by our mind, by our past conditioning, by our unexamined thoughts, that are keeping us robbed of our freedom, joy, happiness, and possibility. So I hope you've enjoyed this story. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at layla@confidenceartist.com. I would love to talk to you. Nothing excites me more than uncovering new scams. Hope you have a great day.